you all about it. That was real good. That was money, first of all.
Let's do another one.
Okay.
Hey everyone, I'm Chris tonight, and you're watching The Real Review 3000. Now, I did a video a couple days ago on Marc Martel singing with the official tribute band of Queen, the Queen Extravaganza. And I talked about the vibrato he has, the way he has mannerisms and does the stage act similar to Freddie Mercury, and also the way he sounds like him, the uncanny resemblance of his voice to that of Freddie Mercury. And so I got this link just today, and it's a video called Marc Martel Explains How to Sing Like Freddie Mercury. So I'm interested to know how he does this. Now, I know that there could be genetics involved, more than likely, but I happen to know myself, when I'm told I sound like a singer, that I can't explain how I do it. I just sing like that, and that's how it is. Maybe it was hearing that music so much when I was growing up and stuff. I don't know. But I'm interested to see how Marc Martel explains it. Now, I'm going to put the link down below in the description so you can watch this afterwards so you don't have to hear me blabbing over it. But we're going to watch this right now. So, get our headphones on. I got my Queen shirt on, so that's good. And we're going to go 3, 2, 1, reaction.
I'd do a little tutorial on how to sound like Freddie Mercury. I'm not a vocal coach, and I've never taken voice lessons, so I don't really speak the language of the technical stuff behind how to sing. I just kind of learned from imitating other singers. I'm going to do my best here to,
like I
maybe,
said,
if I can't communicate to you how to sound like Freddie, because it has a lot to do with genetics, thank you, Mom and Dad, I can at least communicate to you how to have a starting point to sing Queen's music. I was speaking with an actor a couple years ago who wanted to know how to sound like Freddie Mercury because he was a bit of an imitator himself. And so he was like, dude, how do you do it? How do you sound like Freddie Mercury? And I know he was a little bit disappointed, probably. I could see on his face when I said, I don't know, man. I just do it. I don't force it. I just naturally sound like Freddie. No matter what I'm singing, especially when
always go
I'm
natural.
Singing rock, you know, people will always, without fail, tell me, hey, you know who you sound like? And by now I do, and it's always a compliment. Even to the point where now I sing with Queen's official tribute band, the Queen Extravaganza. I didn't have any magical explanation for him on how I do it. When I told him that, he started looking at me scrutinizingly, like he was examining a crime scene or something. Then he said, yeah, I can tell in your jaw structure it's kind of the same as Freddie's, and your nose is shaped very similarly. You probably have the same sinus cavities and all those same resonances in your head. And I'm like, yeah, man,
might
that's basically
be
it.
something behind that, actually. I can see that.
I can try to communicate to you sort of the spirit of how to sing like Freddie. So the way I want to do that is take one song, Bohemian Rhapsody, in which Freddie explores a vast range of his vocal stylings. But before you sing Queen, you got to be in touch with the lyrics. You got to be in touch with your emotions. Freddie was always
I can't explain to you guys that as a singer, and I will tell you this, if you're not into the music, if you're not into the lyrics, if you don't know it through and through, if it doesn't mean something to you, it's just words on a piece of paper. And you can sing, you can do it, but you're not going to be giving it your full
That has a lot to do with singing Queen. Now, a good vocal coach will tell you not to do
emotion behind it,
but you've got to really give everything you got.
And he's absolutely right. If you're not into the music, if you're not into the lyrics,
understand what you're singing.
Absolutely,
you've got to get emotionally involved with that. And once you've laid that foundation,
I couldn't say it any better than that, guys.
Tones of Freddie Mercury's voice. Now, the first one is the intro after the piano starts in Bohemian Rhapsody, the very first verse. Let's hear that. Just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. So that's what I call his soft, vulnerable, whispery tone. It actually reminds me a lot of George Michael, honestly, if you go,
that's very true.
Just killed a man. There's almost like that throaty George Michael thing in there. I'm a big fan of George Michael, so it kind of, I liken that to him. Put a gun against his head, I will be your father figure. I have had enough of... It's Freddie's
Wow,
George.
That's crazy.
Freddie came before George, so let's do It's George's Freddie, if that helps at all.
Yeah, that's probably... No wonder now they had him in the kind of tribute concert to Freddie Mercury.
Voice. Now, his rock voice changed. Earlier, it was very pointed and thin and yet powerful, kind of like an angry violin. Very
that's a good way
gritty.
of
And
putting
let's hear that.
So you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, baby, can't do this to me, baby.
He's giving so much passion that the pitch of the note sort of becomes secondary, especially in his vibrato. He's sort of all over the place. I think
See,
that's
and
what
talks
gives
about
him
vibrato.
mojo.
That's
So
very.
you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, baby.
See, and he
You're more
exactly. It's
concerned
those
with the
things
delivery
make
of the line
a
than
voice,
really
the
hitting that
vibrato,
note.
the
It just kind
tonality
puts you
of
in
it.
the mind of someone who's unleashed and giving himself into the moment. So that's the tone where you've really got to be careful when you're singing Queen, because if you do that too much, if you don't listen to your throat, if your throat starts to hurt, you got to stop that. Change your voice, because you could do some real damage
Yeah.
to your voice. But when singing rock is a big part of what you do, that's sort of the name of the game.
Yep.
It cuts through the mix in a rock song, especially when you're competing with Brian May's guitars cranked up to 10 and Roger Taylor's drums blasting. Back in the days where they didn't have in-ear monitors, Freddie had to really not necessarily sing loud, but point his tone in a way that it would poke through the mix. I think
Exactly.
that's a big reason why those singers back then had very sharp sounding vocals. And I
Yep.
think of Robert Plant and lots of other singers
It's
from
very
the 70s.
true. I mean,
you
I've
had that
when I first started being in bands and stuff, you had to have those monitors, and it had to be something like that so you could hear yourself across everything else.
But always support with the diaphragm, people. Don't sing from your neck and your throat.
Right here.
You got to push the air out to get enough
In
support.
the gut.
I do not want you to hurt your voice. That's the number one thing. I'm just trying to communicate to you what I do by feel. Now, we're going to skip the choir section in the middle, because that is just mock opera, and I think anyone who can sing can pull off something fairly convincing. My favorite
agree with
moment in
that.
Bohemian Rhapsody is the very last time Freddie sings Mama in the second verse. Let's hear that. When you're talking to your mom and you know that you're breaking her heart over what you've done, you can't help but get emotional about that. It sounds like he's crying, Mama! Ooh. It's like he can barely hold on to the note because his emotion, his sadness is getting the best of him. And Freddie was a great communicator of emotion. You know what the
was.
guy's going through, probably the hardest time of their lives, and they can barely stand it just from that one way that he sings the word mama. Now, like I said, Freddie had a lot more tones than that. The way his rock voice changed in the 80s, the older he got, the more macho and deep his rock tone
That's very
became.
true.
I think of songs like The Show Must Go On. He's kind of gotten rid of all the uncertainty in his voice and all the frailty. It's a very powerful, strong, this is who I am, show must go on, instead of show must go on.
See, and
You know,
he
it's fuller,
can
there's more
point this
chest
out. That's
involved.
awesome.
Even the way he sang Bohemian Rhapsody in Wembley was much different than the way he used to
it
in
was.
the 70s. Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, instead of put a gun against his head. One way to sort of sound like Freddie
very
is
true.
to imagine that you're a little bit congested, like Mama.
It's very true. That's a good way.
didn't mean to
Sometimes
make you
when you're in the studio,
cry.
you'll
If I'm
change
not back
things, like you'll put
again
your
this time
your
tomorrow, carry
you'll do this so you get a different
on,
tone,
carry
and
on.
you
It's
can
almost like he
do
didn't
you
really
can do
breathe through
that
his nose.
and
if you
and
watch
change your
stuff
tone.
like the
You can do a lot of
Live Aid
that, and
performance when
it's
I
very
think
true. You can
Freddie
get
was
that
suffering from
in the
a really bad
studio
cold
for
that
things,
day,
but
while he was giving one of the performances of his life, instead of doing life had just begun, you know, when you're tired, when you're sick, you kind of lose that top end of your voice, and so he went, life had just begun, but now I've got to throw it all away. A lot more macho and less of that effeminate thing he did in the early 70s, which was cool, and then I guess he decided that wasn't cool anymore in the 80s and sort of became this different persona. There's really a journey in Freddie's voice across his career. He started sort of as this ballerina, feminine thing going on, and then it sort of morphed into a more macho, manly, deep in the chest, it's a kind of magic. And you wouldn't hear that
It's
tone
true.
early in the 70s. You would hear, it's a kind of magic. Yeah, the multifaceted vocal
it's amazing.
colors of Freddie Mercury. There you have it. I tried to cover it as much as I can. Hope you enjoyed this video.
Wow.
And I'll see you soon.
Well, I'm going to say this right offhand. This guy is amazing anyways. You know, the way he can do this stuff, but he does say so much on how it is. I mean, first and foremost, he said, you know, emotion behind the lyrics. If you haven't experienced things in life that are attributed or written about in songs like loss or rejection or sometimes just pure unhappiness, whatever it is, if you haven't actually experienced that or something, then you're not going to get the same ability in the. You're not going to put the same amount of the same amount of emotion into the song. Once you've experienced something, what you do is you imagine the same thing that person was in the moment they were writing it, and that's everything right there. So when you've lost somebody due to death, or you've lost a great love of your life, you know what this person's writing about. Elton John, sad songs sing so much, or sad songs say so much. If you've lost something, you know what he means. It's like, you know, sometimes you just got to listen to a sad song. And so these things are very important, the emotion behind a song, and especially with Queen. Queen is exactly what he said. It's emotion through and through, because Freddie Mercury, when he wrote songs, it all came from emotion. If you know his life story, you can imagine why he was so emotional, but he showed it in his music, and I think that was his release. But like he said, where it comes from, the differences, you know, that's a big thing too when you're doing that. And I like hearing him say that he knows that Freddie changed his tonality and his vocal styles as he went on. That was what made Freddie Mercury so great. And then when you found out about him having AIDS and stuff, and his frailty there near the end of his career, and the fact that he still could pull stuff off, it was amazing. Go back and watch this video again, so I'm not talking over it, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is another reason why I think that Marc Martel should be touring with Queen and not Adam Lambert. I mean, again, you know, you can think I'm wrong on that. It's my opinion, and it's absolutely my 100% belief that that's who should be fronting Queen now, is Marc Martel. Hopefully we'll get that sometime, but if you guys don't agree with me, I understand. Drop a comment down below, let me know what you think. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Hit that bell so you know when we're coming out with new stuff. And also, please subscribe. We're trying to get those subscribers up. We appreciate all of those of you who have already subscribed. And, you know, we're trying to get up to monetization. We've got our hours. Our watch hours are there. We just need the subs. So tell the people that you think might like this video or our other videos to come and check us out here at The Real Review 3000. Subscribe, drop a like, put it in comments. You can check the end of this video and you will see how you can get a hold of me through email, and you can drop me a line. Tell me what you want me to do a review on. Tell me what you want me to talk about. I do opinion pieces. I do all of that. Just let me know what you want, okay? Because that's what we're all about. We're here to please you guys. Thank you very much for watching this. And I'm Chris Knight. This is The Real Review 3000. Have a nice day.
Hey guys, thanks for checking us out. Be sure to subscribe to both channels and make sure you check out our friends in the Fandom Menace. You can check us out on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and you can also send us an email at Sean@SeanStackhouseReacts.com and Chris Knight at TheRealReview3000.com.